You got to know when to hold 'em.
Yeah.
Know when to fold 'em.
DJs.
Know when to walk away.
Hip-hop.
Know when to run. Know when to run. Know when to run. Know when to run.
Mission creep. No matter what you do when you start trying to make money, it's natural for you to see the other opportunities ahead of your road. It's always natural to see that A leads to B, B leads to C, C leads to Z, and then we start making money, homie. So it's very natural for an average person to start on the road and then start gaining momentum and start seeing a lot of things on the road. That's the beauty of making money. Opportunities come to you because you're in the game. They don't come to you because you sit back and think about them. They really come to you because you're on that road. The problem with that, realistically, is that most people never accomplish anything. The goal of this podcast is to make sure that you understand that this has deadly consequences for you in making money. That you never give your hustle an ending date. You never give your goal a season. You know what I'm saying? Let me do this first, do this second, do this third, and then I'm over with it. Where I got mission creep from was actually the military. For a lot of you cats who are in the military, you should understand where I'm going with this one. Mission creep is when a army or whatever, any kind of soldier goes on a mission, and the mission keeps evolving past what they originally intended to do. So as a result, they might lose the whole mission because the goal was to get the first thing done, not to get 10 things done. You see that with a lot of people. But I remember for some of you cats who are not old enough, look it up in your history books, but during the first, I don't know if it's Desert Storm, when Colin Powell pretty much annihilated Saddam Hussein in like 6 days or whatever that was. And everyone kept saying, after he got him out of Kuwait, why don't you keep going? Why don't you go into Baghdad? Why don't you kill him right there? And everyone kept saying he should have killed him. And his answer was, my mission was to get them out of Kuwait. That was his mission. He got them out of Kuwait. The reason why, again, I said I bring this up is because there will always be opportunities to bypass what you originally started to do. When you go to Vegas or when you gamble, if any of you cats ever gamble, you might have came out saying, you know what, I just want to make $500. When I used to run up there with my boys, I had a small mission. I had a $600 mission in mind when I got there. One time I got there and I made 4 G's on them. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, first roll, a lot of dough. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was, I put all my money in my pocket. The game was over. I bought all my boys some steaks and we all, relaxed. And everybody was like, this is your night. You should have kept on going. You should have, played everything. But to me, I had exceeded what I originally wanted, and I had chips in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? So, 4 G's for a 20-year-old, 21-year-old is good dough. You know what I'm saying? For me to have in my pocket, and I came up there with, 60, 100, $200. So I had the discipline to stop myself from believing all the imaginary shit that everybody else would tell me. You're on a roll, things are this, and don't you see so much opportunity, and why you're not going for more? I had to stop myself. You see this throughout history. You know what I'm saying? I can bring up a million examples, deadly examples, of cats who went beyond their mission, beyond what they were really originally going to do. And I'm not talking about that you don't get up and keep going further. What I'm really trying to get you to understand is that you have to finish what you started. You know what I'm saying? You can't just keep going, primarily because you're bored, primarily because you think you can do more. I always think about Martin Luther King, and I always think about the civil rights era. Pretty much he won what he was supposed to do. And if you know history, what did he die from? Where was he at when he died, when they killed him? They killed him and he was over in, I think it's Detroit, for a trash strike or something, right? So he was heading to handle a trash strike, a garbage strike. He took his mission from civil rights and he moved it over to poor people. He took his mission from civil rights and moved it over to Vietnam. He took his mission of civil rights and moved it over to garbage strikes. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he would have been on point, he would have fell back and he probably would still be alive today. But, you know, sometimes when you think you got that momentum, you say, why not? Sometimes when you're a soldier to this game, people want you to do a hell of a lot more than what you intended to do. Somehow you have to learn to be disciplined in this game and get things done. The difference between those who accomplish things and those who don't accomplish things is that those who accomplish things. And I know you say, damn, Freeman, that's pretty simple. You said those who accomplish and those who don't accomplish. I'm trying to tell you that everybody has the ability. Few finish. Few finish. You understand? Let me say it again. Few finish, homie. There is nothing special about me in this game. There is nothing that I've done better than anyone else, except that I took it on and I finished. You know what I'm saying? I took on all these little things that I took on, whether it be getting to Manhattan to get me to live in Manhattan, to drive a certain car. I was knocking them down, homie. I didn't have a to-do list. I wanted a to-done list, homie. That's where I'm on now. A lot of things have been done. You are hearing me talk to you now from a point of view where I have seen it all and done it all. That's why a lot of these little steps or the things that I got some emails from a couple of cats saying, you know, oh, Freeman, I thought you would never work at the plantation. Like I told you a long time ago, homie, I try to keep it moving. I keep the money coming in. I'm not worried about what you may see me do today. Tomorrow I got bigger plans coming. They're coming into being, but you have to understand that to me, I've done the majority of what I set out to do. 15, 16-year-old in Compton thinking, why not? Why can't I go take on the shit and do it the way I seen other people do it? You know what I'm saying? So I set the goal and I hit the mark. And now that I'm a little bit older, of course I see a lot more, homie. Of course I see the empire. But you know what? The rest of the cats who come against me or even try to put me down, they haven't even touched what I've touched, seen what I've seen, eaten what I've eaten, driven what I've driven, flown where I've flown. You dig what I'm saying? They're still pipe dreaming. You know what I'm saying? I actually did it. So I accomplished what I set out to do. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have my mission overshoot. I didn't keep doing bigger and bigger and bigger until I accomplished the first thing I needed to do. So when I talk about a mission creep, homie, it happens to the best of us. We set out to do something, and by the time we get it done, we're way beyond the point. And we might not ever get it done. We might not ever get there. Because if you keep adjusting the mission, you'll never get there. It'll never be over. You'll start thinking that the mission, the journey is the mission, which is a whole bunch of sucker shit you hear from other people. You know, you should just enjoy the journey. And man, that means the shit never ends. There is nothing on God's earth, homie, that never ends. Everything comes with a cycle. Everything comes with an ending date. You understand what I mean? A flower is pretty much grown, then dies. People grow and die. Everything comes to an end, except motherfuckers who don't understand that their mission does not need to creep. Their mission keeps going further and further and further, and you never accomplish it. So what I'm trying to get to a lot of you cats on this podcast is that make sure what you set out to do, you finish. Make sure that when you decide to get up and take on this world, homie, that it has an ending date. Make sure, even though you see a hell of a lot more, you knock down those goals. You knock down those missions. There will always be time for the man who knows how to ride a bike to learn how to ride a motorcycle. But the man who never mastered learning how to ride a bike will never ride a motorcycle. Do you dig? No matter how small the first step is, you have to finish. So many of you cats, when you email me, and I appreciate the emails, freeman@riseandgrind.com. So many of you cats, when you email me, you see so far into the future that you fail to focus on today. You see so far and you say, well, you know, Freeman, how did you get on this road? This is a long road. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know, young brother, you got to accomplish today's goals today. You probably heard me say this today. I say it in business. I said it before on a previous podcast. You probably heard me say, you know, today I take care of today, and I'll take care of tomorrow. Meaning I stay in the pocket of what I have to accomplish today. And tomorrow will come to me no matter what. If I take care of business, if I sell this product, if I open this business, the other things will come to me. So why am I planning for them? they naturally come to me. You understand what I mean? By saying A, you automatically say B. By me saying 1, you automatically say 2. If I say sunrise, you say sunset. You understand what I'm saying? It's automatic. We know the flow of the game, right? But you have to take care of the moment you're in. See, what really happens with a lot of you young cats, and I gotta say young cats because it doesn't mean, like I always say, I don't mean young in age, homie. You should know it by now. I mean young in mentality, young towards these chips. Is that a lot of these cats, the difference between the hustlers and the suckers is that the suckers and the customers, they never end it. They buy a house. That house is for 30 years. They never pay it off. They buy a car. They're never satisfied with that car. They keep re-upping and going in debt for another car. The shit never ends, homie. That's why they don't accomplish anything. When you're young in this game, the game is set up to naturally come to an end. You go from first through 6, you go through middle school, junior high, you go to high school. This shit has natural ending dates for you. But once you get out of that structure, if you don't know how to make shit end, it will be this way forever. You will be trapped in this game forever. And remember, from what I say in the Nature of the Game podcast, you have to know that all natural things come to an end. All unnatural things never end. In perpetuity they go. They tell you forever. You will have to be in this thing forever. I'm trying to teach you how to accomplish what you need for the reasons you need. When I talk about moral angles, when I talk about avoiding shit, I'm trying to get you to be as pure to the end of your mission as possible. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You're going to fuck up your life your own way. You understand what I mean? You're going to have to learn the hard lessons. You can listen now like I tell my nephew, or you can go out there and try to prove me wrong. And you're going to find out that I wasn't, and you wasted plenty of years. You got to understand, when it comes to this money, most people think it's ever. They set one goal, never accomplish one, but they've already moved on to 2. They start working on 2 and they see 3, 4, and 5, and they start heading towards 5. They think they got to 5, and then they start going to 6 through 10. You know what I'm saying? And they never squared nothing away. When I first started my business, right, I was in Jersey City. When I first started my business, you know, the goal of my business was just to make $2,000 in my pocket. I thought, shit, if I can make $2,000 outside of the game, you know what I'm saying, and by keeping it in my pocket, I was happy as shit. Now, one day the company just blew up. A month later, the shit was just, I was making money hand over fist. I had about $130,000 school loan. In the middle of that school loan, you know what I'm saying, from law school, I'm sitting there thinking, fuck it, I can just take this 130 grand and re-up and go at these motherfuckers again. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking, I'm winning. Why not just keep the shit winning? If it wasn't for my older brother coming to me and say, you got to pay this shit off. You got to end this burden. If you don't end this shit, you're going to be here forever. You're counting, you're thinking your money, you on a roll, you think you're going to have this money forever. You might not. You should make sure you square away what you intended this game to do for you. So of course I took 130 grand, homie, and I paid off that school loan. You understand what I mean? And I've been debt free ever since. I don't have nothing on my books. And he's right. You know, years later, the game has slowed down. While most motherfuckers have, you know, super debt and foreclosures and bankruptcies on their books and shit and all kind of shit, man, I'm debt free. I'm clean. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not having no problem doing what I want to do. But if I didn't fulfill the mission, if I didn't take care of what I thought the money was going to do for me, when I started the business, I just wanted the business to get me out of debt. But like I told you before, I don't know if I said this in a podcast before, I went to get a condo in Jersey City one time. I was in Brooklyn, went to Wells Fargo, right? And I went in there and I said, you know, I had a good job. Thought I had a good job. Went in there and talked to the banker. The guy said, you know, I need a loan for a condo I was going to buy in like Jersey City or Gutenberg and all that shit up on in Jersey, on right across from New York. So I was looking to get this condo. I said, shit, I only want 70 grand. You know what I'm saying? Can you give me a loan for 70 grand? The dude turned around and said, you know what? I'm sorry, Freeman. You got too much debt on your books. You know what I'm saying? You barely surviving. He's right. I had a G to pay to service my own loan. And I had, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't making a whole shitload of money. So the thing is, I'm sitting there pissed off as fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how people start a business. My shit started out of pure anger. I looked at it and said, this ain't gonna be my fate, homie. This ain't gonna be my life. So I decided, what do I got? What kind of skills, what kind of hustle do I got that can build something that will get me out of this position forever? And so that was the real reason. That was the mission behind the company. The mission was to get myself out from under this shit. I didn't want to play this game. I lost sight of that mission. When I started making money, I lost sight of all the fucking reasons that I did it in the first place. And I started thinking I'm balling. I'm starting thinking, you know what, shit, man, I'm first class with Alan Alda in the goddamn plane. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying at the Millennium Hilton. I'm in fucking Miami. I'm everywhere a motherfucker would want to be. You know what I'm saying? Young by myself with chips in my pocket. And if it wasn't for my brother reining me in, bringing me back to being on point with the mission, I would have forsaked it all. You see what I'm saying? I would have had that debt today. Because guess what? I would have thought, just like you would, young homie, I'm reigning in this shit. Motherfuckers can't stop me. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my early 20s and I'm balling beyond motherfuckers double my age. I'm spitting on motherfuckers the way I'm thinking about the game. You understand what I'm saying? Chips are coming in lovely. But if it wasn't for him keeping me on mission of what I was supposed to do, why I even went into this game, why I will always be in this game, to secure my life, to make sure I don't have to be subject to the bitches no more. This is the same reason why I talk to you in the same way on these podcasts, because I'm trying to make you understand that you need to get in, get out, and secure yourself. There will be days to trick, homie. I'm not stopping you from going out here and, you know what I'm saying, wearing orange and shit, you know what I'm saying, at a goddamn Miami Dolphins game looking like a fucking annihilator. Homie, I'm not stopping the game from happening that way. I'm trying to teach you that we need to concentrate and we need to stay focused on why we entered this shit. And we need to, if you have to write it down, write it down. I need you to accomplish it. I need you to write it off. Let me tell you something, the difference between why most motherfuckers you see on this game in life are failures, homie. They never finished. They never won. You understand what I mean? Some of you cats are restarting the game, and I appreciate the courage, man. I know you trying hard. Some of y'all saw that you could have had a chance, you fucked it off, and now you doubling back to get it done. It takes a real man to get up and do shit, to admit his faults and correct them. So I salute you for that shit. But if you look at all the other people who didn't re-up, who didn't come back into this game, they didn't accomplish shit yet, have they? They have not accomplished anything. They take a loser's position. You see, if you don't keep accomplishing and keep writing off those goals and keep accomplishing your mission, you start to accept that maybe it ain't in you. Maybe it ain't part of your life. I've been losing my whole life, Freeman. I don't know if I can win. That's primarily because you didn't win anything. You didn't accomplish the first thing. You got out of high school and you started celebrating like you won something. Then you found out you broke. Then you started thinking, maybe I should go into the army. Maybe I should go fight other motherfuckers' wars. Maybe I should, go into pimping. And maybe I should do all this shit. How do I talk to women and let them know that I'm not in the game, Freeman? How do I let them know? How do I con them? I don't know, motherfucker. Get your money up and you don't have to lie so much. You gotta stay on mission, young homie. Don't let your mission creep. Don't let why we came into this game ever leave your head. You know what I'm saying? And when you get that accomplished, you may sit back like me. You hear me say I should have done a lot more. I could have did so much more. But you know what I did? At least I got myself out of hell first. At least I ain't in that predicament that I was that made me feel so desperate and angry. You know what I'm saying? That made me want to kill motherfuckers, man. I was a dude walking down the street just raw anger. You understand what I mean? Frustrated with everything that came my way. You know what I'm saying? Always dealing with dumb shit. Dealing with ghetto shit. Dealing with snitches. Dealing with motherfuckers who I know really ain't from it but talking like they lived it. I just frustrating growing up in that life and being around motherfuckers like that. So I had to make sure I finished my mission. I didn't let it creep, homie. We came here to make sure we can get oil out of Kuwait. We didn't come here to destroy everybody else. Keep that in mind, homie. This is just one to grow on. This is something that you gotta add to your repertoire of understanding the game. Because if you don't, you're gonna look like everybody else. They're all losers because they never won anything. They had a mission. They started on that road. They adjusted it. They got married. They had children. They did this. They did that. They said, I can always come back and go to school. I can always come back and start this business. And the bitches haven't been back yet, have they, partner? You got to think about this shit. Don't let your mission creep. Next time, partner.